Right guys, we are going to show you how we learned over the past 20 odd years how to spray the perfect ceiling. We'll show you everything we got wrong before we got it right. This ceiling is shit, all right? I'm just putting that out there. This has had so many coats of paint from so many students that this has needed replacing for a little while now. We use other ceilings for the students, but it's good for video. So how do we spray ceilings? Let's go through some basics. Make sure that you've got your paint. It's a good mix. The paint that we would use is, let's say, Tickerilla AR2, but you can use, obviously, similar paints. We thin it by about 20%. Okay, that's just preference that we found over the years. We've got, at the moment, a Tritec T3 set up. It's running the filters that we normally do, which is 50 and 100. And it's probably about 2,000 PSI. We've got a trim hose, which is obviously slightly shorter, slightly thinner, and we've got a whip. We wouldn't spray a ceiling without a whip for the simple fact of the fatigue. Okay, then we come to the gun. We've obviously got the gun, a clean shot, the extension bar, the guard, and the tip. The tip of choice is not a 517, used to be, because when we started, that's all you could get. Okay, we didn't have the FFLPs and the LPs and all the rest. We just had blue Rack-X tips, blue ones, and it was harder work. Now we use, obviously if you're Graco, you're going to use the LPs, but we use the Ultras, and this is a 516 because of the size of the ceiling, but if we're on site, we'd use a 518 or a 618. Okay, why? Gives you a softer atomization. That's step one. Step two, let's talk about access and fatigue. I can't roll the ceilings anymore. I hurt my neck probably about 20 odd years ago, you reckon? I was working in Saudi. We were working on a gilded ceiling and my neck went, and since then I've not been able to actually put a lot of pressure on my neck. So this is why I learned to use the clean shot in the wrong way. Okay, this clean shot's designed to go here for the spits, okay? We use it completely different. I've never sprayed a ceiling, as you can see from all the photos and videos. We've never sprayed a ceiling without a clean shot. Just won't do it. Let me just explain why. I'll do this side on. That's where I would be, and you can see the angle of my neck. That's how most people spray. And if you don't spray like that, you're spraying like this, which is generating tons of overspray. Fair enough. What we found is if we use this and we use the angles, now, firstly, I'm at a better position. My neck has dropped massively. And if anything, when I'm spraying, I've got better line of sight, and the overspray is again about 2 foot away from me. Makes a big difference. You'll see on the videos and photos that we do, most of the time I'm wearing a baseball cap. Just that little peak will help you. Okay, so that's technically the setup as to why we use the clean shot. You'll see in a minute when we spray it. The next thing you want to do is you always want to walk away from the overspray. Okay, you see a lot of people teaching online walking into, which is fine. You want to walk away from the overspray. Okay, that's step one. Step two is you don't arc. You don't stand in the middle and do this. All right, you're just going to generate a lot of overspray and not actually get good coating in the corners where is actually you need the best. Because as you can see, we've got wall colour coming up onto the ceiling. So that's that. So what we would do is we would start here. We take a step to the right, start on the wall, come all the way across, walk in, finish on the wall. Reason we start and stop on the wall is because we're going to get a spit. Why are we going to get a spit? Because the clean shot is here and not here. We don't have to add one here. In our experience, if the walls are finished, they're wrapped. Okay? If the walls aren't finished, they're getting another coat. So the spit is neither here nor there, so don't worry about it. You're going to get a spit, always with an extension. So back and back and back and back. And then you need a point of reference. For me, it's usually a light, because if I don't, this happens. And I end up with... So what we would do is we would stop here. We would turn around, step over the house, and carry on. Now, we would take a step forward, and we would work back until we blend into where we've been. We're always walking away from the overspray. Okay. What you don't do, okay, is you don't sidestep. Let me show you what I call the 3 a.m. walk. Okay. This happens with every single student on the course, or at least one of them. They get themselves set up, they're all good, and then this happens. You guys can see quite clearly on that video, no matter how good I am, that stops for a split second, and that will give you a band and it will catch you out. So what I do is what I call the 3 a.m. walk. I'm coming in, I don't want to wake the dog up, I want to try and get upstairs, get undressed, get in bed without waking anyone up. Okay, this is a little bit exaggerated, but what I'm saying is nice and fluid. Spraying is always, always fluid. If it's not fluid, it's not fun, and if it ain't fun, you're doing something wrong. Simple as that. So what we would do is, like I say, top tip for you. If you've got a situation where you've got no lights, but you need a point of reference, or somebody comes in and starts talking to you, this is what we would do. Granted, no mask at this point. We would make a point of reference. Then I'd be able to have a conversation with maybe the client or whoever, and I know exactly where I stopped. Plus, if I was on a big ceiling and I couldn't stop, that's obviously where I would be. So what I'm saying is, sorry, if there was no reference of lights, that's what I would use. Cool. So what we would do is we would always do on a ceiling, and we tried every which way. Trust me, guys, we've tried every which way to spray ceilings over the years, and there's so many different things that we learned. This is by far the easiest way of spraying a ceiling to get consistent results. All right, it's never about getting the best result or an amazing result. It's about getting consistent results. So what we would do is we would always do the longer, harder first coat, allowing you to do the shorter, easier second coat. Second coat is more important. You want to get it like flat. I mean, lovely, like pretty much saturated to a point. Don't go too crazy, otherwise you'll get air bubbles and craters and other problems. But if you're starting out, you're going to get them anyway until you get used to it. So always do the easier bit last. And the trick is, and you've seen this because other people have said it, but we've been the ones kind of putting the content out for the longest period of time with the most information, and we've probably taught more people than anyone else. Wet on wet, okay? The difference is when you roll a ceiling, you have to wait for it to dry, because if not, you're just going to muck up what you've already put on. When you spray, you get the luxury of literally being able to spray it and in a roundabout way, without, you can kind of put more on. In a way, you can put as much as you want on within reason, because you're never taking it off with a roller. We've mixed this a darker colour because it just shows up better on video. I'm going to put a mask on and I'm going to spray it. So, any questions? Put them in the comments. Put them in the comments and let's go for this. I'm going to do this and we'll see what it looks like after. We've been using tinfoil on our lights for about 10 years. I want to give a big shout out to the Oracle, which is Mr. Jack Frost. He gave me that along with other stuff donkeys years ago. So we've put these videos out time and time again. Every time we get students here, they're just blown away with it. Seriously, tinfoil on your drop down lights, your pendants, your awkward stuff, your taps, your shower heads, your radiator tails. Honestly, it goes on and on and on and on. Tinfoil is the best bit of kit you'll have in your sprayer's box. By far. Yeah. This one. Carry on. The one thing we talk about and we teach and we really push and really promote is lack of overspray. Don't get me wrong, I've sprayed enough ceilings with enough overspray to be covered in shit like a snowman like the rest of you. But we learnt as well the ability to reduce and control the overspray. We can't always stop it, obviously, but as you can see here, very, very little overspray. Why? Why would you want it? Right, there you go, all done, nice and fluid. Was fun, nice and easy, no bad neck, no overspray, really good outcome. If you've got any questions, you've got any comments, whether you like it or you don't, or you've got your own opinions, seriously, share. We'd love to have a chat.